and welcome to Vet Chat with Us. I'm your host, Sarah Said, and in today's episode, we have two very special guests who are here to let you in on the top 3 secrets of how to market yourself in the veterinary field. Super exciting. First, I just want to say, yes, we've rebranded the podcast. It is now called Vet Chat with Us, and you can find us on Apple and Spotify, so be sure to give us a follow and keep up with our latest episodes. Now, on to today's guests. First, I'd like to introduce Earlyn Sharpe. She is our Director of Online Learning and Training / Personal Branding Specialist at Kenilworth Media Inc. And our second guest is making a second appearance on the show. She's the one and only Nicole. She's a licensed veterinary technician and epidemiologist in Washington State. So I'm really excited to have you both here. Welcome, ladies.
Thank you for having us, Sarah.
All right, so I'm going to start with you, Earlyn. Can you give our listeners just like a snapshot of your background and what it is you do at Kenilworth?
As you said, Sarah, I'm the online learning and training director at Kenilworth. What that means is recently we have been doing, should I say, a rebranding of our VPNextGen brand. And at Kenilworth, what I really do is take care of all the educational products for all the lines, all the different brands that we have. So we decided to start off with VPNextGen, and there's so many exciting things that's coming down the pike. I can't wait to share these things with you all. But I'll also like to give you a little preview, should I say, a background as to who I really am. I do have my master's in leadership, and I see myself as an educator and an entrepreneur. Why do I say educator and entrepreneur? Because education is my passion. That's who I am. Any job or any career or anything that I do, I choose to educate. But before I'm an educator, I'm a learner. So I choose to learn and educate. That's my passion. But then when I want to achieve something and set my goals and be successful, I'm an entrepreneur. So I'm an educator, entrepreneur, and I'm so happy to be here with you today to share a few of our secrets on how do you get there.
Awesome. Thank you. And Nicole, you as well. Well, it's nice to have you back here on the podcast. I was wondering if you could tell our listeners a little bit about yourself, as well as why is this topic so important to you? Like, what inspired you to come here today on the episode?
Yeah, thanks. So many awesome questions, and I'm really excited to be back here. It's been, oh gosh, seven months. A lot has changed in the past 7 months and a lot hasn't. So as Sarah, you were saying, I'm a licensed vet tech in Washington State. I have my master's degree in public health. So I do contractual work as an epidemiologist, and as well as just with consulting, anything that's public health or One Health related, and that's the aspect of animal health as well as human health and how we can bring that together and analyze that data. And so that is a huge passion of mine. And so I'm just really excited to just show you all how I like to market myself and create my brand. And really the last 7 months it's just me trying to teach other veterinary professionals on what they can do to better themselves. And as I was saying in a previous post that I did on my social media on Instagram, you want to have this knowledge and these skills so that you can put money back into your own pocket, into what makes you a passionate veterinary industry member instead of in your employer's pocket. So I'm really excited that we tag teamed this podcast together and that we can let you in on our secrets.
Yeah, and I'm really excited to hear those secrets. But first, Earlyn, you have to tell us, why is it essential for veterinary professionals and students to market themselves online in the first place?
When I got into this space, I decided to do a lot of research because, as I said, my background is in education, and I'm working to create educational knowledge projects, programs, training programs for Kenilworth. So I decided to start with VPNextGen. Why? Why VPNextGen? Because that's the entry level. That's where you get people where they're starting off. When you're deciding on your career, what you're going to do, what are your next steps, what are you not clear on, How are you going to do this? And this is where you need coaching, you need mentorship, you need the right courses, you need someone to help you along. And it's the core of who you are. It's the core of the industry, because when you're moving forward from the next generation, VPNextGen, it's, how should I say this? It's really, you're starting your career, you're making your footprint. What's really important right now is to ensure that you also create a digital footprint. The world is changing. After the pandemic, pre-pandemic and post-pandemic, now we can really take a look and see where we were before the pandemic and where we're at now. And a lot of us are asking ourselves a lot of very important questions. And one of the questions is, how do we move forward? And we need answers to those questions. How do we move forward with our career? How do we move forward in our relationships? How do we keep building further? And this is why I wanted to start with VPNextGen. I wanted to start with students and veterinary professionals who is very interested. They are interested in building their brand, their personal and professional brand, which is really intertwined.
I love that.
Yeah, and just kind of bouncing off of that, Nicole. So you're a veterinary technician and you have, a following on social media, and you kind of do your own marketing, whether that's for your personal stuff and your business. So can you tell us like a bit about your experience and why you think online marketing like this makes such a difference for a career?
So, such a great question. So for me, as you were saying, I'm very heavily into social media. Primarily, I focus on Instagram, followed by Facebook and TikTok. Instagram has really been my baby for the last 7 years or so, if not more. And as Earlyn was saying, oh gosh, especially with the pandemic, it almost, as it was almost like having a rebirth of our professional career. I think as a whole, as an industry, we really, when it came to our mental health and our personal goals and accomplishments, we really put that on the wayside. And a lot of us, I would say, kind of hit a digital rock bottom, if you will. It was really hard to first off want to brand yourself in such, an awful time for us, as just a human population. And now, that the pandemic is kind of slowing down, and I say that very cautiously, that we can really start to focus on how can we brand ourselves. It's an employees market right now. How long is that going to last? And what can we do to leverage that? And so with a lot of my followers and my colleagues that I talk with, whether it's on social media or I just meet them in my everyday life, whether it's when I'm doing relief or at a conference, we're really talking about how can we brand. There are so many brands out there. There's thousands of technicians, veterinarians, and other veterinary paraprofessionals that are trying to stand out. And we want to, myself included, we want to know, how can we continue to make ourselves stand out? How can we continue to market what we have up here and then what we can do with our hands? And so I really think that, leadership and education is just extremely pivotal, especially in 2022. And I would safely predict that in 2023, we're going to see a lot of overhaul of branding, whether it's professional or personal.
That was so well said, Nicole.
Thank you.
Was so well said. I'm sitting here listening to you, and in my head, if we can have pop-ups, you would just be seeing yes, 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 yes. Oh my goodness.
Oh, we have too much fun together.
Honestly, it's so exciting to hear that like this is kind of the right time, or like a good time to kind of get more into personal branding and like take a look at what you're putting out there and how we can advance post-pandemic in a new chapter of life almost. So it's really, really great to hear you say that. I know that we all want to hear Earlyn tell us the top 3 secrets. We're all waiting. It's super exciting. But Before you answer those questions, we will take a break from our sponsored message.
I'm here to show you guys some more information about our free webinar happening. In this webinar, we're gonna teach you guys the top 3 secrets that you guys won't learn anywhere else. You don't wanna miss out on the opportunity to learn from our very own Earlyn Sharpe, personal branding specialist and director of online learning and training. And the one, the only, Nicole, licensed veterinarian technician and epidemiologist. Now, suppose you're a student or a young veterinarian who wants to learn how to make a professional digital CV. This masterclass is for you. Or maybe you're a practice owner who went through a really hard time during the pandemic and just don't know how to market themselves. Well, this free masterclass is for you. In the webinar, Earlyn will teach you the top 3 secrets of how to market yourself to become extremely successful. Oh, and did I mention it was free? Don't forget to click the link to register, and you can get a chance to win a free iPad. That's right. I said free iPad. So I can't wait to see you guys at the free webinar, and who knows, you might be the one to win the free iPad. See you guys there.
Welcome back to Vet Chat with Us. I'm with Earlyn Sharpe from KMI and our returning guest, Nicole. Earlyn was just about to tell us about her top 3 secrets about how to market yourself in the veterinary field. I asked her, about how we can implement them. Earlyn, I think you just need to tell us because we're all waiting. We're super pumped for this.
God, I'm not going to keep you guys waiting anymore. I promise. It is going to be it. Okay, listen. Okay, I'm going to really tell you guys what the secrets are. The top 3 secrets, okay, in marketing yourself in the field. It's not science, as you guys think when you say, oh my God, it must be so hard. It is not. It is something you do every day. I'm going to phrase it like this. It is the ABCs marketing. And I said C's because although I 3 secrets, Sarah and Nicole. Well, Nicole, you already know a bit about it. But Sarah, we really kept it from Sarah. But although I'm saying that, there's an extra one that I'm going to just put it out there for you all. So the number 1 secret, the first thing you have to start with is to be authentic. You have to be your true self out there, because if you are not authentic, and I want you to remember, I said the ABCs. Now that's the teacher in me, because I've been a teacher for 16 years. So I always come back to that in education, so you will remember. So let's start with A, being authentic. Being your real self. Sometimes we are so afraid of the F word, fear to show people who we are. There are many people out there who want what you have to offer. You have a skill, you have knowledge, you have experience. Sometimes if you just say to your younger self, had someone and tell me, when you were 30, at let's say 21, these are the 3 things you need to do to be successful. Would you take them up on it? Look, Nicole is shaking her head. Of course you would. Of course you would, because it's you easier. And that's what knowledge education is about. That's what branding is about. So what I'm saying, what I'm here sharing with you, and I'm so excited, is the top, being authentic, being your true self. Don't be afraid to be who you are. When you know who you are and people know that you're being real, they trust you. It's not you don't want to be a commodity. A commodity goes on sale anytime. And then you know what happens? I'll explain. You go to the store, we all shop, right? You get to go to buy something and you just look for the one that's the cheapest. But when you brand yourself, when you took the time to be authentic, to personally brand yourself, you're investing in you, and then people trust you because you're real. So that's all A. B, you need to have a branding strategy. And a branding strategy is really putting down who you are. What's your vision? What's your mission? What are your values? Why should people trust you? What would that look like when you put it out there? What would it look like? What would it sound like? What would it feel like? How could your audience feel you? and understand you. When you understand your brand, even when something goes wrong, when your audience, your clients, even when something goes wrong, they are the ones that's going to defend you. Because in life, trust me, things will go wrong. But when you do it right, because you put your foundational pieces in place, you have your branding strategy, you believe in your guiding principles, which is the strategy, which is your why. You know that why you do what you do every day, even when you're tired, even when you don't want to, even when it doesn't make sense, that connection, that's your strategy. And you share that. And then I said, A, branding strategy B, the big C's. You must be consistent. Consistency is queen. Here, 3 queens right here sharing this information with you. 3 queens sharing this information with you all today. That's to tell you how strong it is. Consistency is queen. Okay? And with being a queen, you're going to get challenges. So guess what? You got to have courage. You have to know when you believe and when you know what your why is and why you do what you do, when things don't go wrong, it's not to break you down, it's to stretch you, it's to pull you a bit. You get uncomfortable and then you take a moment because you understand you're not going to be afraid to fail. You've already invested so much. You're going to be inquisitive. You're going to come curious. That's next C. You're going to be curious. Why is this happening to me? Why is this not working out? What am I missing? How can I take this obstacle and turn it into an opportunity? That's how I win. And these are the things, these are the secrets you have to know moving forward. Because when you put yourself online, are people going to come for you? Of course. But when you know, of course, Nicole is laughing because she knows it's.
Yes. Yes.
You know, but yep. You know what my 4-year-old mother said to me? She turned 95 on Saturday. And she said, you only pick at a fruit, at a tree that's bearing fruit. You pick, people pick out of tree. You go and you try to, you know, and it must be painful for that tree, she says, because you have the fruit and they want to get what you have. So people come at you and they take and they're grabbing, you know, they're taking. You know why? Because you're bearing fruit. So when you are doing your stuff and you're bearing fruit and they're coming for you, have courage because you have something to give. So that's the secret. So I told you today what it is, but there's so much more to do. But now that you know, we can keep moving forward. Right, Sarah?
Yeah, I mean, honestly, Earlyn, I feel like that was a therapy session.
I do too. That was beautiful. Wow.
I'm going to think about that fruit thing every time now an obstacle comes up in my life. That was really, yeah, I totally agree. And I also think you should add a double O to your ABCs from, you said obstacle to opportunity. I love that too. So ABCOO.
I love that.
That could be a tagline. ABCOO.
Yeah, because I mean, it's so true. Like often I find that we always, it's so easy to get overwhelmed by a challenge and think, oh, I can't do this, or that other person does it better than me, or like, you know, that maybe like I'm not good enough or anything like that. All those negative feelings can kind of bubble up, and having that positive mindset can be really hard. And I think it's also, you know, it is good to like let ourselves process emotions if they're negative too. But at the end of the day, looking at things as opportunities to either be better, learn, grow, or do something differently. Like that's such a great way to go about it. And I love that you mentioned that. So
yeah, thanks, Sarah. And you know, it's like when it happens, like we're human beings, we're gonna feel pain. Emotional pain is the hardest thing you're gonna ever feel. It's because you're not cut, you're not bleeding. All you know, you're in pain and you gotta feel it. But in that moment, there's a lot of discovery can be going on. So in everything in life I learned, you have a choice. Okay, so in that moment, you can choose to feel it. You have to feel it. You go through it. If someone tells you, you know what, oh, it didn't really bother me, though they are the people it bothered the most, but a little denial is okay, because sometimes we need that denial point to just keep moving. So we need to say that, and that's okay. No judgment here. Whatever you need to say to get through the moment, you do it. But as you said, sometimes someone does it better than you. Then learn from them. Do a hack. Wow, Sarah is amazing. I wonder why. I'm going to follow her. I'm going to check her out. I'm going to do exactly what she does, and I'm going to try and do it a little better. What's wrong with that? Absolutely nothing. Let's go. That's what we need to do, right, Nicole?
Competition is never, a friendly competition is never a bad idea.
Never. Awesomeness. Just awesome.
Yeah. And so on that note, I wanted to ask you, Nicole, what are, you're a vet tech, obviously. So what is a common myth about your career that you can kind of give us insight on, and how would you even apply that to what we're talking about today?
So I could think of so many things, but I think what I will stick with and then segue into something else is one of the biggest misconceptions about veterinary technicians or the veterinary community as a whole is that we know everything. We come out of school. We are, once we pass our state exams or national exams, we can get a license, we can start practicing and utilizing our skills. We could buy $1 million practice, we could become a human resource manager. When we're coming out of school, we're coming out with an armful of hats, and we're trying to remember just skills and facets of our knowledge that we learned years and years and years ago. And I think for me, a lot of people, regardless of if I work with them or if they are clients or pet owners or industry members, I get asked a lot of questions that I don't know the answer to. And I'm not afraid to say that I don't know the answer to. And with social media these days, we had talked about you're putting yourself out there to the world, and you're putting yourself out there for rejection or acceptance, or in hopes of achieving understanding of what you're trying to do and who you are. And so when at least personally for me, when I post on social media, you're only seeing a certain side of what I'm able to do or what I'm capable of. There is a whole other aspect of veterinary medicine that I don't know anything about. It could be dentistry, no idea. And with dental cleanings, that's something that technicians and assistants and doctors do all day, every day. I don't know them. Exotic animals, it's fishes. These are really interesting misconceptions that when we graduate school, whatever secondary institution that we go to for higher education, is that we're going to know everything. We're going to know how to manage a multi-million-dollar business. We're going to know how to be a human resource manager, a safety officer, your in-house therapist, and it's not possible. And I think for a lot of us who are in the industry and are wanting to step into the industry, is we're trying to achieve the impossible. And we, as Earlyn was saying, we need to find what we're good at, and we need to find people that align with that, who we are and who we want to be, and how can we learn from them, and how could we do it better?
Yes, and what you said is so on point, Nicole. So amazing, because when you are mentored or you are coached, and this is where we have rebranded VPNextGen for students who are coming out of school, to give you the opportunity to get mentorship, to get training, to work with experts who have done it before, to learn to do it better, to get knowledge-based training in our masterclass series that we're coming up with, in our standalone masterclass series. This is why we heard I've had so many conversations with vet techs, with veterinary professionals, and one of they're saying, well, we need mentorship, we need coaching, we need direction, we need something, we need a platform out there that you can step into. You can get real knowledge, real experience. There are people to answer your questions. You know, sometimes that answer you need that you're not going to get right away, or the email that you can ask questions. And this is what we're creating. So that was a beautiful segue, Nicole. And I just had to kind of dive right in and bring it forward to what we're doing, because I am so, so excited about it. And every time I speak to someone in the field and they're like, yeah, this is awesome. I'm like, yes, we're on the right path. And it's just so amazing.
Yeah. And, you know, on that note, Earlyn, like I was wondering if you could also provide some productivity hacks for entrepreneurs. I know that, you know, building a brand is not just about coming up with creative ideas and thinking about how you want to present yourself, but it's also about being productive and having a, you know, maybe a set schedule or something to follow so that you can be successful.
Well, Sarah, the key is I always go to from foundation, because I think if you start from the bottom and your bottom is really strong, because if you have cracks, you're not going anywhere. You're gonna be stuck. So you always have to, you have to address your mental health. You have to take care of you. If you know, sometimes it gets really busy. I've had 3 different businesses, okay? And I have worked really hard many times, and sometimes forgetting about myself. It was not in the veterinarian field, but it's 3 businesses. I opened my first business at the age of 22. Everyone was older than I was. That was fun. I kept that business for 21 years. And then I went on and opened 3 other businesses. I went back to school and got my master's and decided to get into the corporate world. I got into administration for education. I've taught for 16 years. I've worn many hats. But it always comes back to, if you don't take care of yourself, you're going to burn. Okay? And you have to know when to say no. You know, go in the mirror and practice it. As women, many times, and I'm not saying all women, I want to put that out there, but many times we feel guilty saying, no, we can't do that right now. Okay? Because we're such nurturers, we want to do everything. And you burn yourself out like that. And I want to say to every woman who is listening to this podcast today, know when to say no. Say with pride, no, I can't right now. I need to take care of me. Because sometimes we think we're not replaceable. We so are, because the world keeps turning and keeps moving. Remember that. So you have to take care of your mental health. You have to take care of yourself. If you can't do it, find someone who can help you to do it. Invest that in you. Take care of the foundation. Take care of you first. The other thing I'll say, when you want to do something, when you have a dream, many times we have a passion. And as veterinarians, I have spoken to, they're living their passion by doing the work that they do. But for many, they're not earners, they're not earning what they want. And to become an earner, you have to become an entrepreneur. That's from me. You can come for me with this one. I believe that. And why I could sit here and say that, it's because I've done it. And you have to become an earner. And to become an earner, you got to be able to take a risk. So here's the thing. You got to take a chance on you. If you take that chance on you, your client's going to trust you to take that chance. And I'm going to tell you something else in entrepreneurship. You're going to fail. Your products are going to suck. Your campaign is going to go down. Your social media, you're going to have a headache building it. But let's circle back to when you decided that you wanted to do this, and you put your vision, your mission, your values, your guiding principles, and you go back to your why. And here's the thing, you got to make a plan. Sometimes you don't want to plan, you just want to go by air and do things. I believe in a plan. A plan, some people say, well, I made a plan and it didn't work. Okay, guess what? You can now go back to that plan. You have it all written down. You have it timely, in 2 months, here, this is what I want to do. In 3 months, I want to do that. These are the resources I need. You check the resources. Oh my God, that doesn't work. Okay, I got to go and do something else. I'm going to try this. You can look and say, I tried A, B, C. It didn't work. Why? You question it. But when you do not have a plan, you just functioning by chance, by luck, as they say. Okay? And if you believe in luck, okay, great. But I believe in planning. When you plan things out, when you write it down, because you're doing it with intention. You took the time to go to your computer or pen and paper and plan it out. You took the time to do the research. Your subconscious mind now is working. It works when you sleep. When you sit at that computer at night and you work, I do that quite frequently. And you jot things down, and then it's really in your thoughts. You go to bed. Sometimes you may even get up and you go, oh my God, I just had a thought. Because this is, it's full in you. It embodies you. You're going, you're living your dream. So this, as an entrepreneur, these are the things you need to do. Foundational pieces. When you get your foundation right, nothing and no one could stand in your way, because it's embedded in your subconscious thoughts. You're eating and you're thinking. You're having a conversation with someone, something comes up, because it has become part and parcel of who you are, and you're moving forward to get that. So these are the things. Take care of yourself. Okay? Get your vision, your mission, get it out. Make a plan, execute that plan. And here's what a lot of people do. You can make the biggest, prettiest plan, do different color code your plan. If you do not work that plan, you will not be successful. So you have to work the plan, and don't let the plan work you. You got to work it. Go, have checklists. Okay, I did this. You have a checklist? Oh my God, this, that. Set milestones. In a month time, this is what I want to see. Oh my God, it's 3 weeks, 21 days. I'm not there yet. I got to go. And you execute. You have to apply massive action to the things you want. If you want to create change, if you want to make a difference, if you want to be successful, you got to apply action. So that's what I would say. And when you fail forward.
That's amazing. Honestly, it's very like, I love that, again, it's bringing back the fact that like any sort of failure, quote unquote, is like a way to just actually be better the next time around. It's such a great way to think of it. I wanted to ask you, actually, before I move on to Nicole again, if the plan goes wrong in some way, and then you have to almost pivot to a different direction because what you planned before wasn't working, how do you do that? What's the best way to sort of be like, okay, now I have to change everything and not lose that passion and kind of not, completely explode?
You go back to your goals. Your goals don't change. If your goal is concrete, you start with your goal. What do you want? I'm glad you came back. The question that we never answer correctly, what do you want? You ask someone that, they go, nothing. What do you want? And they're like, excuse me? No, seriously, what do you want? And they're like, oh, well, let me see. And they say, okay, really, what do you want? You know what's going on there? That's fear. You very well know what you want, but you don't want to say it. You got to be able to say it. If you are not confident about achieving what you want, that you can't verbalize it, why should anyone else trust you with that? So you got to be clear on what you want. So when someone says to you, what do you want, Nicole? My goodness, I want so and so and so by so and so. And this is how I'm going to get it. Now that's clear. This is what I want. This is when I want it. And this is how I'm going to get it.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. So when you have that, you go back now, Sarah. This is what I wanted, right? This is the thing I wanted. This is the date I wanted it by. Now, this is what tripped people up. Sometimes you say it's a year and you didn't get it in a year, so you give up. You didn't get it the first time you tried. Oh, boo-hoo, and you give up. You know, or you tried three times. Oh my God, I keep trying. I can't get it. Do you know in life, you only need one yes to be successful? All the 99 failures doesn't count. It's the one that you got. You're working for that one yes. So to answer your question, the goal doesn't change if it's concrete. The process changes. This is why we talked about a plan. So when you have a plan, right, and you look at it, my goal is not going to change because that, Nicole, girl, I want that. And I'm going to get it. But let's look at the process. Sarah, I think I need to change a few things. Okay, so you change that, you revisit it, but your goal doesn't change because the goal affects the outcome. Because when you achieve your goal, it aligns with your outcome. All right? Maybe your goal is you want a sports car. You got to make the money to get the sports car. The outcome is buying the sports car. That's the best I could have come up with on the spot. But everyone could relate to that. You know what I mean? Sometimes you're like, this. All right, you got to make money to do this. Okay, what are the things I need to do? And then I need to get a job. I need to maybe sell this. I need to do that. Oh, it didn't work. You need to revisit. You still want it. You just the process. So this is what, don't let sometimes the process is painful. And sometimes it's to teach us something in that. Because many times when we set a goal, Sarah, we get more than what we bargained for in a good way. It makes us stronger. We learn more confidence. You learn things along the line in the journey, and you still get your outcome. So don't give up.
Yeah. No, thank you so much for that, Earlyn. Nicole, I'm curious to hear about your experiences a bit more. I know that you are a vet tech and you have your career in the vet world, but on top of that, you have your social media, and that's kind of its own thing and basically its own business in itself. Can you tell us a little bit more about kind of what you do when it comes to the social media and the marketing side for yourself, and maybe tell us what a regular day is like, but also what is your biggest challenge when you're doing all of those things?
So for me, I'm going to start with my biggest challenge. My biggest challenge when I in my personal and professional life is stumbling and falling when I'm trying to obtain a goal. So this, past conversation that we've had for about 5 minutes resonates very much with me. I feel like with a lot of us, it's been a lot of stumbling and falling and getting back up again over the past 2.5 years. So that's definitely, it's a daily struggle. I mean, it doesn't matter how many followers you have, how much money you have in the bank, we're all struggling, and we're all struggling with various aspects that one of us might find that it's easy for us, it might not be easy for them. There's a lot of things that might come easy to one person but not the other, and and also with difficulties too. With my social media, I did have to take a step back from it for the past 6-ish months. I'm finally getting back into the swing of things. I really had let my mental health go to the wayside, and I really need to rediscover who I was and who I wanted, and to reevaluate the goals that I had set for myself 4, 5, 6 years ago. And and unfortunately I never wrote them down, but it was always like, the big picture that you have, and flashing lights in Hollywood. And, these are what I want to accomplish in my 5-year, 10-year plan. And then going back and being like, oh, I don't really think I accomplished those, but how can we really evaluate our goals and make it attainable still? Because we don't want to be chasing the unattainable, especially when we're doing it by ourselves, because you're setting yourself up for failure. You need to be constantly analyzing what you're doing right, and maybe what you're doing wrong, and leaning on your colleagues to help you both get along. There has definitely been, over the past several months where I have really, really relied heavily on my friends, whether they're through Instagram that I've known for years and we follow each other, or if it's, friends from in or outside of vet med. We're doing a lot of leaning. And, I really think that is really critical for us when we're branding or rebranding. That is something I myself really want to consider for the rest of this year and into 2023, is how can I rebrand and change and reshape who I am, my story, and how I can help other people. And so for a day in my life is very, it's like a hurricane meets Godzilla. And I don't really have, like a set schedule or anything that I do on a daily basis. For myself, I set up a calendar and I do milestones. And this is what I want to achieve. This is when I want to achieve it by. And, some days I might be able to work on it, and some days I might not be able to. It could be I'm too busy with work. My mental health has been suffering. I need to reserve time for me so that I can at least be there for myself. And, just focusing on branding and your unique voice on social media. And that's what's really tricky is, there are so many wonderful and knowledgeable industry members, but how do we make our voice just a little bit louder than theirs? And, and also, how can we help them? How can we help each other? Because social media and garnering, following, a livelihood isn't something that you do by yourself. You don't get to the top on your own. You always need people that you're leaning on and relying on. And it's really important that when you do achieve that goal, whatever it might be you want 1,000 followers, it might be, you want to have a ambassador code for your favorite scrub company. When you achieve that goal, regardless of what it is, don't forget who helped get you there. And I think that is really critical, because, there's been a lot of times where we're helping each other and, maybe someone rises to fame or something happens, good or bad, and then you just forget about that person that helped shape you for months or years or, what have you. And so I just think, so this is such a good conversation that we're having. It's just, I wish we could go longer. I just love this. I just really think all of these secrets and tips will really help, your listeners to really understand how they can market, brand, or rebrand themselves in the future.
Yeah. And honestly, Earlyn, my next question for you is actually sort of related to that. It's like based on your experience, but also how can we apply it to real life? So it's, what is the most important lesson that you've learned throughout your marketing and career business, and how could we, learn from it as well?
Never give up. It's that simple. The day you give up is the day you quit. If you understand that, the day you give up is the day you quit. Don't quit on you. Other people are allowed to quit on you, but you don't quit on you. No matter what that looks like. When you're tired, you're in the slum, nothing is working. You decided that you wanted to work in this veterinarian space, the veterinary field. I have family who's been working in this field from small. It was their passion, bringing stray cats in, taking care of them, loving animals that sometimes we're like, okay, we love them too, but that passion. And then to know you were so, I don't want to say the word lucky, but you followed your passion. You followed your footprint and you're here now. Oh, don't stop. Make a difference. Figure out what you want to do. Right now on the internet, it's so crowded. To brand yourself is crowded. You have to figure out, and we can help you with this, how to be that red, shiny sports car that everybody turns their head when it passes by. Who's that? That's what you want. You want that. And when I say red, shiny, I use it because it's crowded. So whatever you're doing in your field, because you're so fortunate to have discovered your passion and be gainfully employed in it. But if there are things in there that's not working, devise a plan. Biggest planner. I plan everything. I plan what I'm going to wear the next day. I swear to God. I am the type of person that works for me. I plan my week, what I'm going to put on. At night, it may sound simple. I take my outfit on. I get dressed in my bathroom. I have really good light in there. And I hang it behind the door, shoe, everything. I put everything in place. I set my alarm. I plan my morning. I know what I'm going to have for breakfast. I know and then sometimes I put it out and I change my mind. And I'm like, I don't want to wear this. It doesn't look good. I don't feel good in it. But because I decided maybe it was a dress or pants and I'm like, okay, not today. So I just know that I could go in another direction and get something else that's aligned with that. But get up late, don't know what you're doing and get up late. Not a good idea, right? Totally off. So be a planner, work your plan, and never give up on the things you want for yourself. That's what I'll say, never give up. And I live by those words.
Yeah, that's awesome. I mean, I also plan my outfits the day before. I don't know if it's because I'm as good of a planner as you, Earlyn, or I'm just, it's fun to dress up and I like to pick out outfits.
Well, that's part of my, I'm very girl. I love colors. I love to dress up. I like makeup. I like feeling good. I'm going to let you guys in on a secret, okay? And one of my friends, we worked at the same place once, and she would laugh. And she'd always know when she called me my last name, Sharpe. She's like, you're not in a good mood today, eh? I said, how you know? She said, you look extra special. And the worse I feel, the better I look. That's
really funny, Earlyn.
I'll get up. I'm like, okay, you know what? I feel like crap today, but you know what? I'm not going to go in with that. And that's the day, my God, I'm stepping on sunshine. And she's like, you're such a fraud.
You know what though? Honestly, I really believe that kind of fake it till you make it. And it's not to be disingenuous, like you were saying, authenticity is important. But sometimes, you need to give yourself that extra boost. And that might look like for one person wearing a cute outfit and earrings or whatever that is, or it might be something else. Like who even knows? So why not? And
you know what? Sometimes when you look in the mirror, you look in the rearview mirror and you're like, damn, I look good. You know what? I'm going to feel a little better. And then someone may say to you, oh my God, I like the color in you. And you smile, it picks you up. But if you come in and you're grumpy, no. So you kind of, I try. I know I'm not feeling good. I'm not feeling it, but I'm going to act like I feel it. And then by the end of the day, I'm good, or something happens. and looking good, feeling good. If you don't feel good, act like you do, but to take care of you, whatever it takes, take care of you, because you want those goals. You want to achieve those goals. You want success, and you want it for you, right? And remember, I didn't say need. Our basic needs are food, water, shelter, housing. We're not talking about those. We're talking about achieving dreams. Why you went to school. Don't make those 7, 8 years at university. I spent 9 years, okay? I said I'm gonna make them count.
100%. Yeah. And I totally agree. I think it's like putting your best foot forward or feeling like your best self. You could even be your best self in like leggings and a t-shirt. It doesn't even matter. It's more about the feeling, right? And I think that that's something that's very important, is to try to kind of boost yourself up on every day, no matter what happens.
And with that t-shirt, Sarah, you got to smile.
Exactly. See,
you put on the best smile, the best face, and sometimes you're in the simplest thing, but you just have such an awesome attitude, and things are not going well. But you know what? I'm gonna make it easier and better for someone, and maybe I'll feel better. It's all the little things. Sometimes you're really not there, but I'm just gonna be the best me.
So true. 100%. And Nicole, I kind of have the same question for you. It's really like, what have you learned, and what advice do you have to give us based on that?
Oh gosh, there was one thing that Earlyn said to me whenever we had first spoke, when it comes to like marketing ourselves, and it really resonated with me. Maybe you remember, it was when you said, make room for me. Make room for me on social media. You're trying to stand out. You're trying to use your voice, tell your story. It's inundated with people. I don't care. Make room for me. And I just, I get goosebumps. I have goosebumps. I just love that, because it's really been like my mantra, just for the past months. And I mean, say no more. That just resonates with me so much. And I'm just going to piggyback off of everything that Erin said. I mean, it's just phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal.
Great.
Because I remember having that conversation with you, because as women, we're not supposed to fit. Okay. We want to fit in. Oh, no, make room for me.
Yes.
I'm not going to. Don't try to fit. You got to make room for me. And you know what? I make room for everyone. I do that on my team. I'm very straightforward. If I'm good, I'm good. If I'm not happy, But you know what? I make room for everyone. I don't want anyone to think that they have to fit. We have to debunk that. Make room for us. We're coming. That's what it's about. And I'm glad that resonated with you.
Yes.
On social media, they make room for you. You ain't going to fit. You don't want to fit. Make room.
Make room. Right. Get out of the way.
So Earlyn, I guess we'll go back to the beginning in a sense. What piece of advice would you give to somebody who's just starting out their career? And I guess in this type of situation where, obviously talking to students or young vet professionals in different sorts of spaces, but what about, somebody who's starting their career and not just in terms of coming into that space for the first time, but also just coming into figuring out how to brand themselves for the first time?
How do you learn? First, be clear on what you want. You're already clear because you maybe, let's say you started and you're in the veterinary space, you're in school or so, and don't make time go by. Many times we said, we will say, we tell ourselves stories, right? One of the stories we tell ourselves is we don't have time. I'll tell you another story about that. We make time for what's important to us. So here's what I'll say to you. Make time to develop a really good digital footprint on social media. Make time for that. Okay. And you may say, well, I'm in school. But when you're developing this digital CV, if you're in school, think about the opportunities of your 5-year, your 6-year, you're sharing information, you're being positive, and you got to think about how much time you want to spend. And if you don't know how to do that, come to VPNextGen. Yes, I'm going to plug it right now and look at one of our master classes that's going to be launched in August, a standalone or a series. Get the help to make sure that you're starting off right. It's always much more difficult to fix something than if you started right and maybe it's just a little displaced. Maybe instead of putting it over here, you should have put it there. But if you don't start right, you give the wrong message, and then you got to take the backlash and start over. And although you may learn a lot of stuff from it, sometimes we could learn other people's mistakes. So we have to be mindful of that. Be mindful of that if you're starting off. I also want to speak to veterinarians who are there. You are a veterinarian or a veterinary professional. You already have your career. And this is for you as well, because sometimes you're like, I need to know how to brand my practice, or I need to rebrand my practice. Or right now, after the pandemic, oh my God, telemedicine, all these things that's going on, I need to see how this fits. Visit us at VPNextGen, okay? Visit our masterclass series. There is something for you, and you don't have to fit. We make room for you. We make room for you out there. So brand yourself online, brand it well. We're in the digital age. It's not going backward, we're going forward. So we have to be forward thinking with our career. We want to be successful in 5 to 10 years. You want to know what that would look like? Plan it out, map it out. I'm going to tell you a little secret. Here's another secret. It may not, your journey may not be as you think it would be. And that's when many times we think we've failed. Oh my God, it was so hard. You were successful though. Yeah, but it was so hard. Change that mindset. You achieved what you wanted. You got that degree. You made a few mistakes, but what did you learn? Everyone looks at me, oh my God, it was so hard. I say, in that hardness, what did you learn? Nothing. That's not true. Come on, think about it. What did you learn in that hardness? Well, you know what? I was shy. I'm not as shy anymore. I wasn't as confident. I got a beating. I had to stand up and fight for myself. Nobody's going to do that to me again. Oh my God. So you got in that, you got all those skills. So you really want to tell me it was hard? What was hard? You didn't like how it felt. Lessons don't feel good. But outcomes, girls, amazing. And you know what? You don't feel bad all the time. That's another secret. You feel bad in the moment and something's really bothering you and you didn't do it well or whatever. Give yourself 6 months after you look back at that. And sometimes you would say, when you look back at that, you say, you know what? It was not bad after all. You know why you say that? Because you're over it. And
it's true. It's very true.
you're so over it. When you weren't over it, you're telling your girlfriends, oh my God, business is bad, this, that. And then you go back, you say, you know, because you're over it. So when you're over it, say it wasn't that bad. And these are the golden nuggets I pulled out. And you know what? I may get a beating, but it's not gonna be like that. And just keep moving forward. As I said, fail and fail forward. Sometimes we fail backwards and we get stuck and we don't move. Fail forward. Get up. Let's go.
That's so true. And honestly, the thing that you said about sometimes we think our path is going to be one way and then it goes another way. And we think, oh no, because you're not expecting a certain outcome or a certain, but even for me, my personal experience, sometimes you don't even know what you want yet in the future because it hasn't even come yet. Like sometimes an opportunity or a new platform or whatever it is not even invented yet. And
yes.
Yeah.
Like think about people on TikTok that are successful, because if you told them 3-4 years ago that they were going to be successful on a platform, like, and you describe TikTok, they'd be like, what are you talking about?
There you go.
How could you predict that? You can't. And sometimes that's how life is like. So you're right. Yeah, I have one more question for the both of you. It's the exact same question. So I'll start with you, Nicole. This is a question I literally ask everyone because I love people's answers. It is, what is a quote or a philosophy that you live by that helps you get through the day?
Make room for me. I'm starting my day, make room for me. I don't care what I'm doing. I don't care if I'm at home, I'm at work, out hanging out with friends. Make room for me. Make room for all of us. There's plenty of room to go around. I mean, especially the beautiful thing about social media is really there's no limits. I mean, if we all want room to be made for us, we can do that. It's social media. There's no end to it. Unfortunately, there's no end to it, but make room for me. And I know previously I had said my full philosophy quote was lions don't lose sleep over the opinions of sheep, but you know what? Make room for the lions. And that is really just putting my two favorite philosophies together, and that's what I'm coming up with.
I love that so much. I love how you just took this philosophy and like ran with it. You're like, this is mine now.
Mine. Thank you for that, Erin, but it's mine.
That's incredible. I love that you like got that. And how about you, Earlyn? What is something that you can live by every day?
Fearless. Women need to be fearless. And when you fail forward. Don't be afraid of anything. Be afraid of how wonderful you are. Be afraid of the greatness that's tucked inside of you. Be afraid of all that you're going to accomplish. Oh my God, I can really do that? That's the kind of fear. Be afraid that when you get up in the morning, you're going to change somebody's life. Be afraid that you're going to put a smile on someone's face, and you know what? That's going to change their life. Don't be feared. Be afraid of those things and just keep moving forward. And when you fail, because you know what? You're going to try new things. It's not going to work out as planned. Okay, you're going to have deadlines. You may have budgets. You may have loans. You may have credit cards, debt. Figure it out. Fail forward. Because guess what? You only need that one yes, that one opportunity. So that's it for me. Fail and fail forward. You can't avoid it.
Thank you so much. Actually, today I was in the drive-thru and somebody at Tim Hortons had paid for my order in front of me for behind me. And that completely changed my day for the positive. And obviously that's, a random incident that happened in my life that does not affect anybody else, but it really did change my perspective, because sometimes you do something for somebody else or you give to the world and it really does change it. Even if you're not there to see it, that person drove off and never saw me again. So such a great, way to think of life, because you kind of just mentioned that it's like, think about putting a smile on someone's face, think about making a difference, think about making a change. So it does work. So I want to say thank you so much to you both. We learned so many great things today. We learned about being authentic. We learned about being courageous. We learned about being consistent, which I need to do all those things myself too. We learned also about just like you said, fail forward. Like it's a kind of, one thing to have a plan and to be excited about it, but to also have a plan, be excited about it and have it fail and then just keep going again is so crucial to entrepreneurship, building a brand, and even just life in general. Like whether you're in school or working or just whatever you're dealing with in your life, you can definitely apply those things. So I'm I feel very inspired by this conversation. And I want to say thank you. And I want to also mention that we have a really exciting next episode as well. We have Vanessa Sharpe, who's also a veterinary technician and an entrepreneur. So this is, our theme. She's our next guest. And she will be talking to us about how to turn your passion into profit in the veterinary field. Very useful information, and you don't want to miss that episode, which airs on Tuesday, August 16th. Before I let you both go, I want to ask you, where can we find you, Nicole? What social media platforms can we follow you on?
So for myself, you can find me on Instagram and Facebook at Veterinary Technicians, and on TikTok, it is Nicole the Vet Tech.
Awesome. How about you, Earlyn?
And for me, you can find me at Earlyn Sharpe on Instagram. I'm also on Facebook and on LinkedIn. And you can follow VPNextGen Make sure you follow our Instagram page and our Facebook page, and like us as much as you choose to. And I have a secret that I like to share. May I, Sarah?
Of course you may.
Oh, wow. Nicole and I will be doing our masterclass, a free webinar. Okay. And it's going to be, I think Sarah is going to share some of that information, but we're doing a free webinar series. And also, we are also going to be presenting together on a masterclass series and a standalone. And if you visit our website, you'll get all the information on that. So keep following us on Instagram on VPNextGen, and we will be posting information about the upcoming webinar, the upcoming standalone masterclass and series, which is going to be awesome, awesome. Nicole, you got to help me out with another awesome.
Awesome. It's gonna be so awesome.
Yeah, that is awesome for sure. So if you want to sign up for the free webinar on the top 3 secrets of how to market yourself in the veterinary field, that is happening on August 18th, you can click the link below on the podcast page and you can register. When you register, you can also win a free iPad. And who doesn't want to win a free iPad? And Earlyn and Nicole will get into the what of the top 3 secrets, dive in deeper than we have today. For students, for vet professionals, you'll learn the why as well of the top 3 secrets, and you'll also learn the how of how you can help to achieve your goals successfully. And of course, it's free, which again, free, that's exciting. Please register for free. So, click the link, register, and show up for the grand draw at the webinar. And thank you so much for listening to us. I always say this at the end of an episode, remember that you are the future. So stay tuned for the next episode.
Thank you for having us, Sarah.
Thank you so much, Sarah.